Learning English through conversation is one of the most effective and natural ways to master the language. Unlike traditional classroom methods that focus heavily on grammar rules and written exercises, conversational practice allows you to develop the fluency, confidence, and practical skills needed for real-world communication. Whether you're preparing for travel, advancing your career, connecting with international friends, or simply expanding your horizons, daily conversational practice is the key to unlocking your English potential. This comprehensive guide explores the world of conversational English practice, offering you practical dialogues, essential phrases, listening strategies, and tips for integrating English into your daily routine. Think of this as your personal podcast in written form, a resource you can return to again and again as you progress on your English learning journey. The power of daily practice. Consistency is the cornerstone of language acquisition. Just as musicians practice skills daily and athletes train regularly, language learners must engage with English consistently to see meaningful progress. Daily practice, even for just 15 to 20 minutes, is far more effective than sporadic intensive study sessions. This is because language learning relies heavily on building neural pathways through repetition and regular exposure. When you practice English conversation daily, you're not just memorizing words and phrases, you're training your brain to think in English. This cognitive shift is crucial for achieving fluency. Initially, most learners translate from their native language to English in their minds, which creates a noticeable delay in conversation. However, with consistent practice, you begin to bypass this translation step, allowing you to respond naturally and spontaneously. Daily practice also helps with pronunciation and accent refinement. The muscles in your mouth and throat need regular exercise to produce unfamiliar English sounds correctly. The more you speak, the more comfortable these sounds become, and the more natural your speech patterns will be. Essential greetings and introductions. Every conversation begins with a greeting, making this one of the most important areas to master. Let's explore various greeting scenarios and the appropriate language for each. Formal greetings. When meeting someone in a professional setting or someone you don't know well, formal greetings are appropriate. Good morning, how are you today? Or, good afternoon, it's a pleasure to meet you. This level of formality shows respect and professionalism. Informal greetings. With friends, family, or casual acquaintances, you can be more relaxed. Hey, how's it going? Or, what's up? Are common informal greetings. Responses can be equally casual. Not much. You? Or pretty good, thanks. The key difference here is the relaxed tone and simplified language structure. Introducing yourself. A proper self-introduction includes your name and often a bit of context. Hi, I'm Sarah. I work in marketing at Tech Solutions. Or, hello, my name is David. I'm a student at the local university. Follow-up questions are natural here. What brings you here today? Or, have you been working in this field long? Introducing others. When introducing two people, provide context to help them start a conversation. Maria, this is Tom. Tom is the graphic designer I mentioned. Tom, Maria is our new project manager. This gives both parties information they can use to begin a dialogue. Daily life conversations. The ability to navigate everyday situations in English is essential for practical communication. Let's examine common daily scenarios. At the grocery store. Shopping conversations are straightforward but important. Excuse me, where can I find the pasta? Might be answered with, it's in aisle 5 on the left side. When checking out, you might hear, did you find everything you needed today? A simple, yes, thank you, or actually, I couldn't find the olive oil, keeps the conversation going naturally. At a restaurant interactions follow a predictable pattern, making them great for practice. The server might say, good evening, welcome to Olive Garden. Can I start you off with something to drink? You could respond, I'll have water with lemon, please. Could I also see the wine list? When ordering food, I'd like the grilled salmon with asparagus, please. Could I have the sauce on the side? Don't forget to ask questions. Is this dish spicy? Or what do you recommend?
Public transportation. Navigating buses, trains, and subways requires specific vocabulary. Does this bus go to Central Station? Or how much is a one-way ticket to downtown? Are essential questions. Understanding announcements is equally important. The next stop is Fifth Avenue. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. At the doctor's office, medical conversations require precise communication. I've been experiencing headaches for the past 3 days. Or, I have a sharp pain in my lower back when I bend over. Help doctors understand your symptoms. Asking questions is crucial. What are the side effects of this medication? Or, how long will the recovery take? Workplace English conversations. Professional English has its own nuances and etiquette. Mastering workplace conversations can significantly impact your career advancement. Meetings and presentations. In meetings, you need to express ideas clearly and professionally. I'd like to add to that point, or may I offer a different perspective? Are polite ways to contribute. When presenting, today I'll be discussing our quarterly results, or let's begin by reviewing the current market trends. Questions and clarifications are important. Could you elaborate on that? Or, just to clarify, are you suggesting we postpone the launch? Email and written communication, while not strictly conversational, follow similar patterns. Opening with, "I hope this email finds you well," sets a professional tone. Closing with, "Please let me know if you need any additional information," or "I look forward to hearing from you," maintains professionalism. Small talk with colleagues. Building workplace relationships requires casual conversation. "How was your weekend?" Or, "Did you catch the game last night?" are safe, friendly topics. Avoid controversial subjects like politics or religion. Weather is always a reliable topic. It's really coming down out there, isn't it? Requesting and offering help. Collaboration requires clear communication. "Could you help me with the spreadsheet?" Or, "Would you mind reviewing this report?" are polite requests. When offering assistance, "I'd be happy to help with that." Or, "Let me know if you need a hand."
Social situations and making friends. Building social connections in English requires confidence and cultural awareness. Starting conversations. Breaking the ice can be challenging. Comment on your shared environment. "This is a great venue, isn't it?" Or, "Have you tried the appetizers? They're delicious." Ask open-ended questions. "What brings you to this event?" rather than yes/no questions. Discussing hobbies and interests. Shared interests create connections. "What do you like to do in your free time?" might lead to, "I'm really into photography. Do you have any hobbies?" Showing genuine interest keeps conversations flowing. "That sounds fascinating. How did you get started with that?" Making plans. Turning conversations into friendships requires initiative. "We should grab coffee sometime," can be followed up with, "Are you free next Tuesday afternoon?" Being specific shows you're serious about meeting up. Polite excuses and declining. Sometimes you need to decline invitations gracefully. "I'd love to, but I already have plans that evening." Or, "That sounds great, but I'm not feeling well today." Maintain the relationship while being honest. Telephone conversations. Phone conversations present unique challenges since you can't rely on body language and visual cues. Answering the phone. Professionally, "Good morning, this is Jennifer speaking. How may I help you?" Casually, "Hello?" Or, "Hey, what's up?" When calling someone. "Hi, this is Mark. Is this a good time to talk?" Leaving and taking messages. "I'm calling regarding the appointment scheduled for next week." State your purpose clearly. When taking a message, "May I ask who's calling?" And, "Would you like to leave a message?" are standard questions. When leaving a message, "Could you ask her to call me back at 555-1234? Thank you." Clarifying and confirming. Phone conversations often require repetition.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Or, just to confirm, you said Tuesday at 3 p.m. Ensure understanding. Speaking clearly and at a moderate pace helps. Expressing opinions and emotions. Authentic conversation requires expressing your thoughts and feelings appropriately. Agreeing and disagreeing. Agreement can be enthusiastic, like, absolutely, I completely agree, or that's exactly what I was thinking. Disagreement should be diplomatic. I see your point, but I have a different perspective, or I respectfully disagree because. Avoid blunt contradictions that might seem rude. Expressing likes and dislikes. Vary your vocabulary beyond like and don't like. Try, I'm really into jazz music, or I absolutely love Thai food, or I can't stand horror movies, or I'm not a big fan of cold weather. The intensity of your words convey the strength of your feelings. Showing empathy. Responding to others' emotions builds connection. That must have been really difficult. Or, I can imagine how frustrating that was. Shows you understand. I'm so happy for you. Or, congratulations, you deserve it. Celebrates their successes. Apologizing. Sincere apologies require the right words. I'm really sorry about that. It won't happen again. Or, I apologize for the misunderstanding. Let me clarify. Takes responsibility. Accept apologies graciously. No worries. Or, don't worry about it. Asking questions and seeking clarification. Good conversation is a two-way street, requiring effective questioning skills. Open-ended questions. These questions encourage detailed responses. What was the best part of your trip? Or, how did you decide to change careers? Invite storytelling rather than simple yes-no questions. Closed questions. Sometimes you need specific information. Did you finish the report? Or, are you coming to the meeting? Require direct answers, but don't encourage elaboration. Clarification questions. When you don't understand something, what do you mean by that? Or, could you give me an example? Shows you're engaged and want to understand fully. I'm not familiar with that term. Could you explain it? Is perfectly acceptable. Follow-up questions. Show interest by digging deeper. If someone says, I just got back from Japan, follow up with, how long were you there? Or, what was your favorite experience? This keeps the conversation flowing naturally.
Cultural considerations in English conversation. English is spoken globally, and cultural norms vary significantly across English-speaking countries. Personal space and physical contact in American and British cultures, people typically maintain about an arm's length of personal space. Handshakes are common in professional settings, but hugging depends on the relationship and context. Be observant and follow others' lead. Eye contact. In most Western English-speaking cultures, maintaining eye contact shows you're listening and engaged. However, don't stare intensely. Natural breaks are normal. Some cultures find direct eye contact uncomfortable, so be aware of cultural differences. Interrupting and turn-taking. In American English conversations, brief interruptions to show agreement or enthusiasm are acceptable. However, consistently interrupting is considered rude. Watch for pauses and cues that it's your turn to speak. British English tends to be more formal, with stricter turn-taking. Directness versus indirectness. American English tends to be direct, while British English often uses more indirect language. That won't work. American. That might be challenging. British. Understanding these nuances helps you interpret meaning correctly. Small talk importance. In many English-speaking business cultures, small talk isn't just polite, it's expected. Jumping straight to business without any pleasantries can seem abrupt or even rude. A few minutes of casual conversation builds rapport. Listening strategies for better comprehension. Speaking is only half of conversation. Listening effectively is equally crucial. Active listening means fully concentrating on the speaker, not occasionally. Maintain eye contact and provide verbal cues like or I see. This encourages the speaker and shows you're engaged. Predicting and anticipating. Good listeners predict where conversations are heading based on context. If someone says, "So I had the worst day yesterday," you can anticipate a story about something negative, helping you prepare relevant questions or responses. Listening for key words. You don't need to understand every word. Focus on content words like nouns, verbs, and adjectives, rather than function words like the, to. In I went to the extremely large shopping center yesterday, the key words are went, large shopping center, and yesterday. Understanding connected speech. Native speakers link words together, which can be challenging. Did you eat yet? Often sounds like jeet yet? Recognizing these patterns improves comprehension. Regular exposure through podcasts, movies, and conversations helps train your ear. Asking for repetition. Don't pretend to understand when you don't. "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again?" Or "Could you speak a bit more slowly?" are perfectly acceptable. Most people are happy to accommodate. Common phrasal verbs in conversation. Phrasal verbs are ubiquitous in English conversation and often confuse learners. Daily life phrasal verbs are wake up, stop sleeping, get up, rise from bed, turn on/off, activate/deactivate, put on, wear, take off, remove clothing, pick up, collect or lift, drop off, leave someone or something somewhere, and run into, meet unexpectedly are used constantly in everyday speech. Social phrasal verbs: hang out, spend time casually, catch up, exchange recent news, get along, have a good relationship, fall out, have a disagreement, make up, reconcile, and ask out, invite on a date, are used in social interactions. Work-related phrasal verbs: fill out, complete forms, hand in, submit, take on, accept responsibility, carry out, execute/perform, follow up, pursue further, bring up, mention, and put off, postpone are common in professional contexts. Idioms and colloquial expressions. Native speakers use idioms constantly, and understanding them significantly improves comprehension. Common idioms are break the ice, initiate conversation, piece of cake, very easy, hit the nail on the head, exactly right, under the weather, sick, cost an arm and a leg, very expensive, once in a blue moon, very rarely, and the ball is in your court. It's your turn/decision. When to use idioms. While idioms make speech more natural and engaging, overusing them, especially in formal contexts, can seem unprofessional. Use them in casual conversation, but be more restrained in business settings. Also, ensure you understand an idiom fully before using it. Misusing idioms is obvious to native speakers. Technology and English practice. Modern technology offers unprecedented opportunities for English practice. Language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and HelloTalk provide structured practice and connect you with native speakers. Many apps offer voice recognition to help with pronunciation. Podcasts for learners. Podcasts designed for English learners such as English Class 101, The English We Speak, BBC, and All Ears English offer lessons on specific topics with transcripts. Gradually transition to podcasts for native speakers as your skills improve. YouTube channels. Channels dedicated to English learning provide free, accessible content. Look for channels that focus on conversational English and real-life situations rather than just grammar lessons. Language exchange platforms. Websites and apps like italki, Tandem, and Conversation Exchange connect you with native English speakers who want to learn your language. This mutual benefit creates authentic practice opportunities.
Streaming services. Watching English language movies and TV shows with subtitles helps connect written and spoken English. Start with subtitles in your language, then switch to English subtitles, and eventually watch without any subtitles. Building confidence in speaking. Lack of confidence is one of the biggest barriers to conversational fluency. Embrace mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. View errors as learning opportunities rather than failures. Native speakers appreciate the effort you're making to learn their language and are generally patient and encouraging. Start small. Begin with low-pressure situations. Order in English at a coffee shop. Make small talk with the cashier or comment on the weather. These brief interactions build confidence for longer conversations. Record yourself. Listening to recordings of your speech help identify areas for improvement. You might notice pronunciation issues or overuse of certain words. While it can be uncomfortable at first, it's incredibly valuable feedback. Practice shadowing. Shadowing involves listening to native speakers and immediately repeating what they say, matching their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. This technique, used by many successful language learners, trains your mouth and ears simultaneously. Join conversation groups. Many communities offer English conversation groups specifically for learners. These supportive environments provide practice without the pressure of conversing with native speakers. Advanced conversation skills. As your English improves, focus on these sophisticated skills. Storytelling. Good conversationalists tell engaging stories. Use vivid descriptions, vary your pacing for dramatic effect, and include relevant details. Practice story structure, set the scene, introduce conflict or interest, and provide resolution or punchline. Humor. Humor is culturally specific and challenging in a second language. Start with situational humor or funny stories from your life rather than complex wordplay or cultural references. Watch English comedians to understand timing and delivery. Debate and argumentation. Presenting arguments clearly requires specific language. On one hand, on the other hand, while I understand that perspective, I believe, and the evidence suggests, structure logical arguments. Practice defending positions on various topics. Adjusting register. Skilled speakers adjust their language based on context. Speaking to your boss requires different language than speaking to a close friend. Notice how native speakers code switch between formal and informal registers. Creating your personal practice routine. Developing a sustainable practice routine ensures continued progress. Daily listening practice. Dedicate 20 to 30 minutes daily to listening. Vary your sources. News podcasts one day, casual conversation another, academic lectures another. This variety exposes you to different vocabulary, accents, and speaking styles. Speaking practice. Even if you don't have a conversation partner, practice speaking out loud. Describe your day, narrate your activities as you do them, or discuss a news article you read. This maintains speaking skills and builds confidence. Vocabulary building. Learn words in context rather than isolation. When you encounter a new word, note the sentence it appeared in. Create examples using new vocabulary. This helps retention more than memorization. Review and reflection. Spend time reflecting on conversations you've had. What went well? What was challenging? What phrases or words did you need but not know? This metacognitive practice accelerates learning. Set realistic goals. Instead of vague goals like improve my English, set specific, measurable objectives. Have a 5-minute conversation with a native speaker about my hobbies, or understand 80% of a podcast episode without subtitles.
Achievable goals maintain motivation. Overcoming common challenges. Every language learner faces similar obstacles. Here's how to address them. I can't think of what to say. Prepare conversation topics in advance. Think about how you discuss your job, hobbies, family, recent news, or your hometown. Having mental templates ready reduces anxiety. I understand when I read, but not when I listen. Reading and listening are separate skills. Listening requires real-time processing without the ability to pause and review. Regular listening practice specifically addresses this. Start with slower, clearer speech, like podcasts for learners, and gradually increase difficulty. I forget words during conversation. This happens to everyone. Learn circumlocution, describing things when you don't know the exact word. The thing you used to open bottles works when you've forgotten bottle opener. Also learn phrases like, what do you call the, or, the thing that. Native speakers are too fast. It's perfectly fine to ask people to slow down. I'm still learning English. Could you speak a bit more slowly? Most people are happy to accommodate. As your brain becomes more accustomed to English sounds and patterns, processing speed naturally increases. Conclusion: your journey to conversational fluency. Mastering conversational English is a journey, not a destination. There will always be new expressions to learn, cultural nuances to understand, and skills to refine. The key is consistent practice, patience with yourself, and maintaining curiosity about the language and cultures it connects you to. Remember that language learning isn't linear. You'll have breakthrough moments and frustrating plateaus. This is completely normal. What matters is persistence and regular engagement with the language in meaningful ways. Seek out opportunities to use English daily, even if just for a few minutes. Read English content about topics you're genuinely interested in. Watch shows you enjoy. Have conversations about subjects you're passionate about. When learning feels like something you want to do rather than have to do, progress comes naturally. Most importantly, view every conversation as a success, regardless of how many mistakes you made or words you forgot. You're communicating across linguistic and cultural boundaries. That's remarkable in itself. With each conversation, you're not just practicing a language, you're building bridges, forming connections, and expanding your world. Your English-speaking journey is unique to you. Embrace it. Enjoy it, and remember that every expert was once a beginner. The conversations you'll have, the people you'll meet, and the opportunities you'll access make every moment of practice worthwhile. Keep speaking, keep listening, and watch as the English-speaking world opens up before you.